Well, hello and welcome to the Learn Flute Podcast, Episode 9.
Learning to play the flute will put you in a good mood for the rest of the day because the flute is the most cool, the most fun, the most beautiful of all instruments in the whole world. We're here to tell you you can do it, and Rebecca will show you how, step by step all along the way. She's a curly-headed blonde with a talent for teaching. Introducing the Learn Flute Podcast. Take it away, Rebecca.
Well, welcome all you awesome flute learner listeners out there in podcast land. My name is Rebecca Fuller, and I am so excited to help you with more tips and tricks to making your time with your flute more effective and fun. For those of you just joining this podcast, I'll remind you that these recordings are companion to my website, learnfluteonline.com, where you'll find, at the time of this recording, almost 800 learning video tutorials, PDF sheet music, and MP3 accompaniments. Now, what makes my site so appealing to someone like you is that all of the lessons are set in perfect learning order, so it's super easy to be successful. Try it. I think you're going to like it. Well, in today's episode, I'm going to be giving you tips for finding time in your busy schedule to practice your flute. Being a busy human myself, I understand that it can be very hard to fit everything into each 24-hour day. It's a lot like those circus clowns that spin the plates. Keeping all the plates spinning at once is kind of tricky, but with some help and practice, we can all do what we need to. I've always heard it said that at every stage of life that we need to realize that we'll never really have as much time as we have right now. Now, this is really hard for me to imagine, but in my experience, it really is true. But it's okay because I'm here to help you organize some principles of practicing as you plan your day, which is key to becoming really successful on an instrument. These higher level skills don't just happen, and if they did, then everyone on the planet would know how to play the flute. Okay, the first hint is to try really hard to find time in your day, preferably first thing in the morning, to get your first practice in. Now, it doesn't have to be a large chunk of time, but it should really happen every single day. Now, this is the time to work on your tone studies and your scales especially. Now, if you have extra time, then you can move into other assignments and other things that you've set up for yourself. Now, during any practice time, you'll need to prioritize what you are actually doing. For example, you should start with the most difficult skill that you're trying to master and then end with something that feels really easy and definitely makes you happy. This will help you remember that more relaxed feeling you get at the end of your one practice the next time you're ready to open your flute case. You'll be excited and raring to go. Now, I've mentioned here that it's best to be sure you get your tone studies and scales in every single day. And this is because every single piece of music is made out of some sort of scale. And, of course, the point of playing the flute is to make a beautiful tone, so it just makes sense that we work on these two skills the most and first thing each day. Now, I don't know how many of you are morning people. I totally know that I am not. I've tested and tested this theory over and over for over 40 years now, and it's just true. I need a few minutes or even a good hour in the morning before I start tooting on my flute. Basically, I would say that I'm a slow waker. That's okay because I have a habit of playing recordings when I wake up in the mornings. And I've found that if I listen to something I'm trying to learn first thing in the morning and then again before I fall asleep at night, I actually retain better and feel like I've internalized what I'm hearing even more. It's actually a proven study that humans better remember information they've heard or seen during those first 20 minutes before sleeping and the first couple of hours after waking. Now, I've used this idea for years and years for my own family and students, and having them learn to make the habit of practicing first thing when they wake and listening also to their practice sessions or special recordings at night before sleeping, It's the best. I have many, many students and even my own children who've reached mega heights in flute playing levels at very, very young ages just by using this exact principle. Now, the next tip I have for you is to remember that it is totally possible to do some practicing without your instrument also. I had to put this idea to work on my very busiest days when I was away from home, and I'm actually pretty good at studying my pieces, picking out a certain trick I need to master, and then keeping it on like a mental sticky note all day as I'm maybe waiting for appointments, eating lunch, or sitting even at a stoplight. Now I bring this certain skill to the front of my mind and I mentally work on it. Now, even though I don't have my flute in my hands, you'd be surprised at how effective this type of mental practice can be. So here are a few hints and suggestions for skills that you can work on when you don't have your flute in your hands. First of all, practice breathing from down low. Find the bottom of your lungs and practice filling them up. I always tell my students to suck it in all the way down to their toes. Yawning with purpose, like opening your mouth and really taking it in, is a great skill to practice. Now, paying attention to your body while you breathe really deeply is a super way to jumpstart your effectiveness to lasting longer and longer when playing the flute. You can also read your music like it's the greatest novel in the world. Just dive right in head first and find all of those accidentals, dynamics, articulation, and the surprising jumps in melody. Just staring at your music for a good 15 minutes will get you light years ahead of where you'd be if you had just sat down with it for the very first time. I also like to chunk my music when I look at it. It helps me be prepared for the different sections I see. For example, music has form. There will oftentimes be an A section and a B section, and I like to find these by just looking through a piece. Even if I haven't heard it before, I can see the notes and the patterns on the page, and when I see recurring themes, I highlight them. And once I see several patterns in the music, I start basically relaxing a lot more because I know that it's becoming chunked into pieces in my brain, which feels so much more manageable. And I might just add here that music which looks manageable is already so much more fun to play from the very first day. I also put little mental flags on my music where I see something that's unfamiliar or appears kind of advanced. Just noticing these places up front makes the next practice session with your flute so much more effective. Remembering these tips will help you find and make the most of your practicing time. Whew, I hope the information you just heard here in this podcast gets you all excited to organize your day and find some time to practice your flute and use your other little snippets of time to do some good mental practice. You will become a much better flute player because of it. I'm totally confident. Well, that's it for today. I'm Rebecca Fuller, and I hope you have time to subscribe to this show, give it a rating and a review. It really helps it be seen by others learning to play the flute just like you. And as always, the show notes can be read over on the website learnfluteonline.com/009. Or you can find them all in the podcast section of the bonus page in the top menu bar. Bye now.
Thanks for listening today. Remember that this is where people of all ages, such as you, can come, learn, and play the musical instrument flute in an easy-to-follow, organized manner, and in the privacy and comfort of your own home, on your own schedule.